I want to welcome you to the very first, it's the very first of a series of webinars that I'm going to be putting on, as well as I'll probably bring in some guests to help with different things to help us grow our businesses. A lot of people in our multi-vendor events group, which is where I talked to some of the admins in there and I said, you know, I really want to start adding value to this group. I really want to start helping these other ladies because I feel like so many times I'm behind the scenes and I'm seeing all the chats and I'm seeing everybody say, I don't know how to do this and I don't know how to do that. And it could be simple things from not knowing how to use a ring light when they're taking selfies, or some people are taking their live videos and they're holding their cameras down here instead of up here, you know, and just not knowing how to do it. And we all have to start somewhere. And I started somewhere and Yvonne started somewhere. And so I felt like, you know what, with everything that I have learned, I don't know it all. I don't claim to be an expert. I don't claim to be a coach. I don't claim to be any of that. All I know is what I know, and I'm willing to share what I know. And I pray that if you guys know something, you will be sharing it with me and it will be, you know, back and forth. So with that being said, I asked the ladies in the admins group, I said, hey, what do you guys want to do? I would love to add some value to this group by doing a few trainings. And they said, oh my God, that's a great idea. We would love it. And I said, well, what do you want to talk about? And one of the girls said, I think the very first most important thing that we need to talk about is mindset. She said, we need to talk about mindset because you cannot do anything if your mind is not in the right place. And I 100,000,000% agree. So mindset is one of those things. Yvonne and I were talking today, you guys, I am a Jesus freak. If you guys heard me on my other Q&A just a few minutes ago in my other group, I am a Jesus freak. I love God. I love I did my strengths test, and one of my strengths is connectedness. And I am a firm believer that everything is connected in this universe because God's hand is in it. And one way or another, he puts you in the path that you're supposed to be on. Now, whether you walk that path or whether you look at the things the way you're supposed to look at them, that's up to you, but he puts it there for you. And I have to tell you guys, I got a message from this lady yesterday. Now, I've known Yvonne,
2 years, maybe?
Well, it hasn't been quite 2 years because I haven't been with our company for 2 years. We're in the same company, but we are not direct to each other. We're sideline sisters. And I met her, I met you on a getaway trip, but I met her online. And then we were on a getaway trip and I was like, oh, here's Yvonne. I meet her in person, right? And she's amazing. And we clicked. And so we follow each other on Facebook, just like most of us do. And she reached out to me yesterday or the day before. Oh, no, it was yesterday because yesterday's the anniversary. And she said, hey, I would love to catch up with you and I would love to chat with you. And I said, oh, that's awesome. You know, I was like, oh, she's just reaching out random, but okay, because I love you. So that's fine. So she said, I would love to talk to you. So I said, all right. So we set up a time to talk and she called me today. And it just so happens that I'm doing this webinar for you guys where we're going to talk about mindset. And guess what Yvonne wants to talk about to me is mindset. And I was like, this is perfect. I am a firm believer that things happen for a reason. People are put into your space because they're supposed to be there, whether it's to teach you a lesson or whether it's to help you learn and grow, or whether it's to offer an opportunity to you that maybe you weren't open to before. Whatever the reason, there's a reason why people are in your life, right? There's a reason and a season. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but so I asked Yvonne, and this was totally unprepared.
It was totally unprepared. I agree.
Yeah, I've been preparing for this webinar, trying to come up with different things because you guys, I could talk about mindset for hours and hours and hours and still not tap into it. If you just Google mindset or YouTube mindset, there are millions of videos out there. There's millions of coaches. There's all these things, but you got to find the right thing for you, you know? And so what I was going to do was just go through the bits and pieces of all the things that I have gone through and that I have learned. And I was going to share with you like the highlight reel, because this is just a simple little 1 hour webinar. It's like, how much can I tell you, So, but when Yvonne called me, we talked and I said, oh my gosh, girl, would you please be a guest speaker in my webinar tonight? Because she has such an incredible story. And I think that it's super important to understand that you are where you're supposed to be. And sometimes when you haven't grown to where you think you should be, it's simply because you're not ready yet. And you have work to do. And Yvonne is, I don't even want to tell you guys, I want her to share her story because it is so inspiring. And I think that you will, you'll have a new perspective about things when you hear what she has to share. So I'm going to let you take it away and just tell us your incredible journey.
Yeah, well, thank you, Terry. And yes, she is 100% correct. I totally like sprung this call on her, this check-in. I too am a Jesus freak, but I also believe in, intuition, and some of us, feel certain feels, and it was like just the right time to reach out to Terry. So there is absolutely never an accident as to where we are at and who we're connected to. And like Terry, I'm a connector and I love sharing resources. And being in the same business, like we see people come and go and have great success. We see people struggle. We see people get excited and crush some initial things and then fall away. Like we see it all. And in particular, Terry and I kind of share a similar heart for helping people and just wanting the best for people and wanting people to achieve all of the things that we get excited about when we join our companies, right? And we feel like we're at home and we love our products and we have the belief and we even have great stories about the products. And maybe we start running, and at some point, it seems for some of us, myself included, that we kind of get stuck at a certain level. And what's challenging sometimes is, like in my case, and I'll give you a little bit of the backstory. I got stuck at a really good level to be stuck at. It doesn't matter if you get stuck getting out of the gates or at a really good level that other people would just kill for, right? Like I'm an auto bonus earner. Everyone's like, oh, you're doing so great. But I didn't feel great about where I was at, right? So whether you're not feeling great about not getting out of the gates, or you started and stopped, or you're stuck, or whatever, we all find this place where we get to and say, which was where I was at, like, why are other people having success? Why can't I level up? Why can't I move forward? Like, what is wrong with me? We start searching for all the tools, right? So we attend the trainings, or we sign up for the groups, or, we get the coach or whatever, and we're looking for the right method, or we're calling our friends and saying, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing, that sticky note thing? Are you doing that tracking method? Are you using the social media method? What are you doing? What's your secret? And we can use all the same tools and have all their scripts and still not see the same success. So that was kind of the mystery I found myself in. Just to give you a quick story, I'm with a health and wellness company, and when I came across it, again, it was no accident that I stumbled on this very spammy post, I will let you know, that attracted my attention. So don't ever think you're wrong if you have a gut feeling about making a post, because if my friend Beth had not made this post, I would not be here today. And it was very spammy. She actually stole the picture from another promoter in our business. So I just wanted to throw that out there. But this product changed my life. I went from the grouch on the couch, miserable 46-year-old mom. I had been through so many years of hard. I was like, I had my own seat on the struggle bus, and I just convinced myself that it was kind of a cool thing. I was kind of a warrior. I was a survivor. I was an overcomer. Like I could take on things that nobody else could and win. And people celebrated me for that. So I started to believe like that was a good thing until, I lost my parents. I lost my business. I lost my home. I made a cross country move. The bottom fell out further. I became homeless with my husband and 3 kids. And it was like, I'm in my 40s at this point. Like, I don't see a lot of hope for like a long future here on this trajectory. So, but I kept overcoming. So I thought, man, I have a gift of some sort. I'm really good at this. And my last big thing was to get cancer 6 years ago. It was after I had overcome all these things. I was really in a good place with a great job, and I overcame cancer. Well, I got the diagnosis and then I subsequently overcame it. So again, it was like strong survivor. Well, that was the last straw for me. I was sunk. My ship was sunk. I did not realize the mindset toll it had taken. I mean, I still kind of thought of myself that I used to be this really high energy person. I'm a positive person. I love helping people, but that's not how I was living. I was in total darkness. I was miserable physically, but more than that, emotionally. See, on the outside, I didn't look that bad. I really didn't. So people didn't recognize that. And they knew me for who I was. So they always saw me that way. And when the product unleashed me physically, I had this awakening. The fog was lifted. I thought, man, these products can do anything. And I kind of still do believe that, but they only go so far because I didn't realize I really put all the credit into the product and the company and the comp plan, and everything was going so great until I came to a screeching halt and could not get unstuck. And people would like see me at events and be like, "Oh my gosh, what rank are you? I'm not as high as you. I'm only a, 40K." And I'm like, "I'm a level below that. Why do they see me as this great person? Oh, you have such a great story. You're so positive. You're just rocking it." But inside I was like, "I'm so stuck." And I couldn't figure it out. Nobody, my leaders to this day, some of them are like, "I don't understand why Yvonne isn't at the top rank of the company." And, I don't know, again, I think it was a gift from God that I just stumbled into a networking group. And the founder of this group had some gut instinct to lead me, to connect me to this coach. And at the time, my team was doing a training with a very well-known coach for network marketers. There's a lot of pressure to join that group. And the trainer, she's amazing. She really is. And I was like really torn. But I had been introduced to this other coach, and she was not a network marketer. So I thought, what are people going to think if I go with this other coach? Is she really any good? Like, I had a conversation with her, and she introduced me to this concept of deserve level. So she said this to me. She said, "You know what? We will only get what our subconscious mind believes we deserve." And it kind of put me off, to be honest. I was like, "Oh, I know I deserve it. Everybody's telling me I am," because I was doing all the affirmations. There's a lot of mindset work that I had already been doing, like Terry and I talked about. There's so many positive things, and they are good things, but tangibly, they can't like dig you out. Like, I was super positive. I am this rank. I was like getting in the car and, saying it and walking like it and talking like it and doing all the affirmations and meditations and convincing myself that I was and that I deserved it. So when she said that, I was like, "I don't get it. I know I deserve this." Well, she said, "But it's a subconscious thing." And I was like, "Okay." And she sort of laid out this methodology called deserve level coaching. And so I was like, a little mysterious to me. I was wondering, like, how did this align for me with my faith? Like, can I really control my own mind? But what I discovered was my mind was controlling me. My mindset, some things that I had decided, there were things that were guiding my actions that I was not conscious of. Let's be honest, right? How many times like you have the perfect like strategy? Someone has gone before you and hit the top rank of the company in X amount of time, and they tell you exactly what they did. And we cannot move up one level. And but if we're honest with ourselves, we're probably not doing the work completely, right? Something's stopping us in the darkness of our office or our bedrooms or whatever. We're stopping ourselves. And, I had to dig out some of those things. So I, on a wing and a prayer, and I was scared to death to invest money in this coach. Because here's the deal. I kept saying too, and maybe you all have been there if you've been introduced to tools for your mindset, like there's so much free stuff out there on YouTube and apps, and our amazing companies that we belong to have incredible training, and our leaders have done it, and they care so much for us. They're pouring into us. Like, I'm sure you all have a similar story. Of, and that's why you're at the company you're at or on the team you're on, right? I know Terry and I talked about this, like that belief they have in us and we have in them. And then it's like, why can't I do that? And we start to question, like, is there something wrong with me? So when I was, presented the idea of like paying for coaching, I was like, well, hold on, I'm going into the coaching so that I can make money. Like, I mean, I'm maybe when I make the money, then I can afford the coach. That's really what I had convinced myself. And I think that's where we get stuck, right? Like, you know what? This sounds so awesome. So I did this like hour-long call with this woman. I was like, yes, I need all that. I want all that. Like, she was speaking right into my heart about all the things I was stuck at. And then, she kind of laid out that like I had to pay for this and how much it was going to cost. And I was like, like, hold on a second. Like, my leaders, they can afford these fancy coaches. When I hit the next rank or that next bonus that I'm going to manifest, then I'm going to hire you. And she's like, okay. And we kept the conversation going. And I thought, I'm going to just go out and try everything else. I'm really going to give it a go because I think I can do this. And I thought she gave me a lot of great information. I'm going to implement some of that. I couldn't do it without doing the real work and the digging. And I needed someone. We talked earlier today on a call about like when you're so close to something, you can't really see it. Like you can't put your makeup on if you're like 2 centimeters away from the mirror, right? So we're so close to the situation, we can't really see. So we need that person to come in and help us, even though we have all the information that we need. So I avoided the idea of investing so much in myself. And I know Terry's, been in coaching before, but I don't know about the rest of you ladies. But I had never invested like that in myself. And that was a part of the coaching I needed to take, was this idea of investing in myself. And so I jumped in. I literally did not have the cash. She's like, if it's important enough, you'll find the money. And I was like, wow, that sounds like some kind of magic I don't have. But I exhausted all the other possibilities. And this was so new and different for me to tap into my subconscious mind and actually think that she called them limiting decisions. So to address what Terry said earlier, we've all heard of limiting beliefs, right? We have these limiting beliefs and we try to dig them out or brain dump them and uncover them. And they're not just beliefs. She explained to me that they're actually decisions that are programmed into you because of your experiences and things you've gone through. And they actually kind of drive the bus. Like there's a bus driver in there guiding your actions. And I didn't really buy it because I really thought I could will myself into these things or positively motivate myself. But once I invested in the work, and that other piece about investing, money is one of the biggest blocks that I have. And so it's really now in retrospect, no secret that would be the thing that I would allow me for a couple of months to hold me back from investing in the coaching. I was like, well, I need the money to do the coaching, but I'm doing the coaching to get the money. Like it's chicken egg. What's going to happen here? And I just took the plunge. I had a gut feeling about it. I exhausted everything else and took the plunge. And it is the best decision I ever made. The work that we've done is like nothing ever. And you know what I realized? Like there are some incredible network marketing trainers out there. There are, and whoever you vibe with, whether it's, an Eric Worre style or rank makers, Ray Higdon or one of the ladies out there, there are so many different options to choose from. And some of them will take you to that next level if your mindset is in the right place. And so I started to discover as I went through this coaching myself for 6 months, and they always propose 6 months, which sounds like a really long time, but it took us a really long time to get where we're at. If we're honest, there is not a magical quick fix. And so once I discovered the value of this work and saw the changes in me, I realized that's the secret to getting the benefit from all those other trainings we've been taking over the years that haven't been working for us, or to really receive the benefit of the amazing team and the leaders that we've partnered with. So, the rest is kind of history. Like I shared with Terry earlier, I think that I started tracking my sales numbers in ways I've never tracked before. And yeah, did I learn a few tips and tricks from her? Yes, but that's not what changed everything for me. I ultimately took my sales volume up 150%, meaning I 2.5 times my sales volume. I was barely hitting this auto bonus every month. And I'm almost triple where I was when I started with this coaching work. And so, I mean, it's been truly amazing. I don't know, Terry, if there were other bits of the story you wanted me to fill in there.
No, you're incredible. I'm so excited. Although she did like counter, what do you call it? Or went against like
Contradict.
like some of the things that I was going to share with you guys, because I'm like, oh, she has a different perspective on it, right? So it's all about your perception. And I was like, or your perspective. And I was like, oh, a limiting, what'd you call it? Not a limiting belief,
Decision.
a limiting decision. So like some of the stuff I was like, oh, I was going to tell you guys some of these things. And I'm like, well, maybe I shouldn't share that, because that's like, I love Yvonne's, I love her perspective on it, so but I do want to give you guys some, like a lot of what I wanted this to be about was I wanted to share with you what some of the tools that you can take with you tonight to actually start making some of these changes. Like what she said, what Yvonne was saying is, this is not going to happen. You're not going to wake up tomorrow morning with a magic wand, even though we'd like to think we will, and have everything be perfect. But if you can start waking up maybe 10 minutes earlier, organize your desk. Like there's certain little tools that I can give you that I feel will help to move you in the right direction, so that you can start to change your thought process, and you can start to learn about what it is to be an abundant person and not worry about being limited, like where we have that fixed mindset yourself into a growth mindset, right? So I want to be able to like give you some of those gifts tonight, and I'm just going to share with you a few things that help me along the way. And by all means, if you have other things in the chat that you want to share, feel free to share that. And I know this is a webinar, so I'll read it out to other people, so that way they can, whoever's watching the replay can learn that. But I do believe that we have to speak kinder to ourselves. That's like one of the first things that we need to learn to do. So like one of my rules, and some of you that are on here, if you personally know me, this is one of my things that I do. If I catch you saying something negative about yourself, one of the things that I do is I say, okay, now say 3 nice things about yourself. I make you think about it. It can't be something like, oh, this shirt, I love this color of the shirt. No, that's not about you. That's about the shirt. I want you to tell me about you, something that you have, a gift that God gave you. Because, and if you're not a believer, I'm not going to apologize for this, but I will be sensitive to it. But I have to tell you that, we are not mistakes. None of us are mistakes. We were formed in the image that we were supposed to be. So if you are having an image problem with yourself, you know what? You are who you're supposed to be. God made you the way you're supposed to be, and he gave you that for a reason. So now it's just about finding that reason. So I love how one of my mentors, who is also one of Yvonne's mentors, is Beth Graves. And here's one of the tools that I want to give you guys, and I hope you have a piece of paper and a pen so that you can write this stuff down. But her podcast is called You're Not the Boss of Me. And that's one of the tools that I really would love to share with you guys, is filling your cup every day. Fill your cup every single day, because you cannot pour out of an empty cup. You cannot give to other people without filling yourself up. And negativity breeds negativity, you guys. I've been telling my husband this for a few months now, because he keeps the news on all the time. And I don't care what side you're on or what your belief is as far as like anything goes with, you know, the way the political race is going and all that. But no matter which news channel you're listening to, it's negative. And I'm not telling you to not be informed. Of course, I think you should be informed, because it's important for us to be informed and be a part of the solution. But when all you hear is the bad stuff, you fill yourself up with that bad stuff, and then it comes out. It reflects in what you say and what you do. So like, his patience has been a lot thinner lately. He does not have as much patience. He's not the man that I married. I tell him that. I'm like, you are not the man I married. I feel like it's because a lot of the negative stuff is getting him so triggered, so that he's on edge. And by the time we get what he is, he's done. He's ready to blow. And so we end up getting that. So you need to fill your cup so that you're not doing that to your family and to your spouse and to your children and to your loved ones. And that so you can be a, let me see if I can change this. I feel like I've got it on. Can you guys see me? Am I talking like, is my picture big, or? I see Yvonne. I don't.
Oh,
I
really?
love you, but I just don't know if that's on my side or not. But that's fine, because I was just thinking about for the replay. But anyway, so I want to say, you have to somehow commit to reprogramming your mind to knowing that you believe you deserve it, like what Yvonne was saying. And I'm right there with you, you guys. It's a work in progress. There are so many days that I catch myself saying, you know what, this isn't for me, or maybe I didn't get any sales this week, or I look at the numbers and I think to myself, you know what did I do wrong? How come I'm not ranking up? Why am I struggling to get that bonus? How come that bonus slipped right through my hands? You know, what made her deserve it instead of me? It's comparison. Comparison is the thief of all joy. And so you're not alone. And let me tell you something, social media is just a reel of the good stuff. You don't see the struggles behind the scene. I can tell you so many leaders that are out there that have struggled, and all you know is that they're the top rank of the company and they're $1 million earners, but you didn't see the journey that they took to get there. This is not overnight. So what I want to tell you is that, and Yvonne, you probably can correct me with some of these statistics, but it takes a long time for people to earn the type of money that you see some of these leaders earning. There's not very many of them that earn it in 6 months. Some of them, it takes 20 years, So the one thing that you need to remember is don't give up. If you see yourself being successful, you will be successful. Just might take you a little bit longer because you're just not ready yet.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, Terry. Yeah, because what you didn't see even in my share here is the steps along the way to get to the point of being open even to coaching. All the mindset work, opening my mind as a believer. I wasn't open to things like meditation or energy stuff and, trying different things. And it's been a journey. It took me to the place where I finally considered this after trying so many things. But all those positive things are so important. Like all the things Terry's going to share. It's not to say that any of those are wrong. They're absolutely good. Staying in it and never getting out is so important. Find those people that keep you in and share the tools, right? I learned so much from the shares that we've had, like those podcasts or whatever. Sharing with other women has been so key. It opened my mind to things like meditation that I didn't believe, and loving myself look different than what I saw on other people's social media. It didn't mean a manicure and a pedicure.
Right.
And a meditation that I laughed at for 3 days. I'm going to share that in the chat, by the way, Terry, if I can find it real quick. But I laughed at a meditation about like love yourself, it's called, I think, by the Honest Guys. They have really cool accents.
Oh, I
And
remember you talking about that.
I shared this
Yeah.
before because
Yeah.
we were challenged to do 5 minutes meditation
Yes.
a day.
Yes.
And I laughed the first 3 days. It's like, give yourself a hug, you know, and I laughed. And on the fourth day, I cried because I had a moment where I realized, you know, I
It's a
kind of made a joke
breakthrough.
of it. It was a breakthrough. It was a blind spot. I had convinced myself I did love myself. I was doing my morning nutrition. I was fit, but I really wasn't loving myself
Oh, you
when I
guys,
really
there's so many
dug deep.
obstacles and so many blocks that we can talk about forever. I mean, you know, Yvonne talks about, you know, I was doing the nutrition, I was doing the, you know, let's talk about the lack of follow-up. You know, I self-sabotage all the time, my business. I have people, I can put myself out there and I can draw people to me, but do I close them? No. I have such a lack of closing, and that's something that I'm struggling with. So here's one of the first things that you have to do, and I'm in the journey with you, but I want you to journal. I want you to get a journal, and I want you to hold on to that journal, and I want you to spend at least 10 to 15 minutes every single day journaling. And I want you to journal your story. And this is going to be so painful in the beginning for some of you. I like to look back on my childhood and think that I had a great childhood, which I did. I have a loving parents. My parents, I didn't come from a split home. My parents are still together. You know, we had things. My parents were married they're still married. They had celebrated their anniversary yesterday as well. And, but I had struggles and I had to think about it. I had to think, where did I come from that caused me to be this way? And what I want you to do is I want you to look back and I want you to think about and journal it, like take it in stages of your life. Childhood, preteens, teenagers, young adults, and adults. And then when you go through those stages, I want you to break up each stage and I want you to say different events. Did I start a new school when I was a kid? You know, did we move from one state to another? You know, what were some big events? Did your parents get divorced? You know, did your mom have another baby? Maybe, you know, maybe having a new sibling. Did you lose somebody special in your life? And then I want you to look at some of the things. Maybe you had some addiction problems that you need to face. You know, maybe you had maybe somebody bullied you when you were a kid. You know, maybe you were the bully and you need to fess up and make amends with yourself because maybe you weren't the person that you are now, and you're still punishing yourself, right? So there's so many things that have happened, but you have to break it down to figure out who you are and where these things came from, because all of those things are what programmed your brain to be the person that you are right now. And it's holding you back because you haven't accepted it, you haven't faced it, you haven't looked at it, and you haven't conquered it, right? And some of you think that you might have conquered it, but there's something there holding you back. There's always something that you can work on. But here's the thing, you're not a victim to it. I am a firm believer. My kids will tell you, if my kid falls down and gets a boo-boo, I'm the first one to go, brush it off, you're gonna be all right. I don't sit there and let them whine on me. Now, granted, if they're bleeding, you know, I'm gonna get them a Band-Aid, right? But I don't like people that whine. I can't handle it. I'm a firm believer that you create the life that you want to live. And if I'm not living the life I want to live, it's only my fault. It's nobody else's. So you're not a victim. So even though you're going to look back and you're going to see these things, you have to somehow turn it around and tell yourself that I went through this journey so that I can be a survivor, so that I can share this with somebody else, so that I can help other people feel like they can overcome, right? So When you say something, and I say limiting belief, but I'm like, I got to change this, right? When you have something to say about yourself that limits who you are, you need to rephrase it, rephrase that. Like, if you're like, you know what, I'm never going to be in our top rank of the company we're in, I'm never going to be a 200K. No, don't say that. And you don't have to be that person that manifests. And I mean, I believe in manifesting, and I believe in abundant mindset, and I believe in the law of attraction and all those things. But I have a really hard time with journaling. I'm going to be 200, or I am 200K, because I'm not. So my subconscious is telling me you're lying to yourself because you're not at 200K yet. But you know what I say? I'm working my butt off every day to become that 200K leader that I know that I can be. Right? So you put that into your mind and you make yourself believe it. And the more you do it, the more you're going to reprogram your brain. Yvonne and I were talking earlier, there's a video that's out there, and I would love to share it with you guys. I'll probably put a link when I send out the replay to this video, I will put links to the Honest Guys and to this other video that I watched, because it talks a lot about reprogramming your brain and where we start, and how our brains they're like gardens, right? They're gardens growing. This is what this man said in this video that I'm going to share with you. And I'm not taking credit for any of this stuff. This is all stuff I learned. I'm not a counselor. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a coach. It's just things that I've learned that I want to share with you. But one of the things that he said was, your brain is a garden. And in order to grow a beautiful garden, you've got to pull the weeds, you've got to tenderize the soil, and you've got to plant the seeds, right? You're not going to be able to be that garden, a beautiful garden, until you get rid of all the junk that's in there. So another thing that you can do tangibly, right? You start with journaling, you start with getting your, getting your crap out of your way, out of the, sorry, not sorry, I'm real. But, getting all that stuff out of your head that you've told yourself or that you've believed because somebody else has maybe told you, right? We're not gonna blame them for it because maybe they have their own crap. So bless and release if they're saying something to you. But what you need to do is you need to journal, get rid of all that stuff, declutter your mind and declutter your workspace. Give yourself the freedom to have a beautiful setup where you can sit down and have just a clear head, because when you do the meditation that Yvonne is talking about, I wrote down that, let me see if I can find what it said. The guy said, meditation is equal to, or means, it helps to change your brain waves to help slow them down. And a lot of times we don't slow our brains down, or we don't start to do these changes like we're talking about right now until something bad happens. When something bad happens, that triggers us to want better things for ourselves. Y'all, don't wait for something bad to happen. Do it now. Do it now. Don't wait until you hit rock bottom. And I'm not saying that, Yvonne's story isn't powerful, because obviously it's very powerful and it needs to be told. But we don't have to wait to hit that to bounce back up. We can start right where we are and till our land and sow plant the seeds, water it, and move us towards the abundance and the worthiness and all the things that we deserve to be. So mindset is a huge thing. It's a huge thing. And when I do this webinar replay in the email that I'll send out, this is why I made you guys register, because I want to be able to stay connected. I want to be able to, have tools that I can share with you. I want to tell you when there's another webinar coming. Maybe the next time there'll be more tools that I can share with you about mindset. Maybe we'll lean into time blocking. Maybe we'll lean into, I have journal prompts. I have a journal prompt that I use that was basically from Gabby Bernstein. If you guys know her, she's all about abundance mindset, but I have to tell you that when your mind is happy and healthy, your body will be happy and healthy. And your body's programmed to do, basically, this is what this guy was saying too, your body is programmed to do all the things that your brain might be telling you one thing, but your body's going to do what it's used to doing. And you've been so programmed for so many years that it just becomes a habit. So we need to recreate those habits. We need to make those switches, and we need to, you know, start fresh. And the only way to do that is to get rid of the yucky that's holding us back. Meditation is something that it's going to help you break through a lot of things, because it's going to give you a chance to slow your brain waves down and give you a chance to just refocus. And it allows you to let go of a lot of things. So I think Yvonne probably could share a little bit more about meditation than me, because I'm still learning that.
Yeah, you know, I was really resistant to meditation because I just thought it was like woo-woo. You know, it was like I didn't believe that I had that much control. And I was just unsure. I actually was unsure of who I was giving the control to. I didn't realize that it was me taking control over my breath, over my body. And you know what was funny is I discovered on my journey and through coaching, actually, because again, I also resisted journaling. You know, like I see all the people, it's one of those comparison things where I'm like, oh my gosh, all these people on my team are so good at journaling, and they have cute journals and they have journal spaces and they're like doing all the things. And I'm such a loser. Like I can't do any of this. And those were my limiting decisions. I can't do this. I'm overwhelmed. I'm a hot mess is one of my favorites that I cycle back in every once in a while and go, I'm just a hot mess. And now I think it's kind of funny. But with the meditation piece, it was like, you know, taking your power back. And it reminded me in going back and journaling and reflecting on my past, like Terry is suggesting you all do, it will reveal to you so many things that you've forgotten about, especially if you can relax and force yourself to journal and get in a rhythm of it. It reminded me, which is something we do in this deserve level coaching, is not only pull out the limiting decisions, but reprogramming in good things and consciously designing things that we want for ourselves. But it reminded me of a time, because we try to find evidence to dispel these limiting decisions or beliefs and go, you know, that's not really true, because one time I wasn't a hot mess, or one time I did have success. Like we have to just find one bit of evidence to help us get rid of it. So I figured out, you know what I did? I had done some sort of meditation in my past. I forgot about, and it was kind of a big deal. I did hypnobirthing from birthing my kids. I took control over, I still birthed my kids. I still had the same experience everybody else did, like a 10-pound baby or 8-pound baby came out of that like little 10-centimeter space, right? Okay, I'm real too. And people are like, how'd you do that? Did it make the pain go away? And you know what I used to say, which I had to bring back, was no, I just experienced it differently. And you know how I did that? I had a coach. I had a hypnobirthing coach who taught me this methodology, and I had to practice it. And I sort of took this power or control over my own experience, programmed it in. When I tell you, I had the most beautiful, amazing experience. And I wasn't one of those like green, like supernatural mamas. I don't know why. It was like God told me I was supposed to do this. It was like the weirdest thing. It was totally out of character for me, because I was not one of those granola moms. But I think it's because right now I'm sharing that experience that you do have control over the way you experience things. And it really is a form of meditation. It's calming yourself, quieting yourself. There's a little bit of a mantra, a rhythm about it. And it was just so profound to realize that, I had done some form of meditation. So
I think it's making a decision too, right? A conscious decision, but moving it into your subconscious, you know, which the meditation allows it to happen, because you're clearing your brain. So, I mean,
someone showing you how to do it, right? These
yeah.
honest guys or whoever's teaching it to you, maybe it's a friend or a team leader or coach or whoever. But yes, getting some guidance and actually doing that work, it's truly like amazing how you are making a conscious decision to
Right.
release
So
something and invite something else in. Pretty
I
cool.
I want to be able to wrap this up in a couple minutes, but I want to say to you guys, because this group that we're in, we're business women, and we have a goal, and our goals are to grow our businesses and to expand our network and to, you know, have an abundant lifestyle. And whatever your why is, that's another thing that's part of the mindset. You need to know what your why is, because in those moments when your limiting decision is holding you back, that why is going to push you forward. So when you do that, this is another thing, another challenge that I have for you, that it's another thing that I want you to have that's tangible, is a vision board. And I know that sounds crazy, because it sounded crazy to me the first time somebody told me to do it. I was like, a vision board? I don't even know what to put on that. I'm going to tell you guys right now, I put my car on a vision board. I got my car. I put a boat on my vision board. I got my boat. I put my kids, you know, college fund on my vision board, and I'm working towards that. And it's not there yet, but it will be, you know. So you got to see it to push you through. It's not about, maybe for some it's about the manifestation, maybe for some it's about the law of attraction, but for me it was about what is going to push me through those no's. When somebody tells me no, I have to move on. You guys, I cannot let one person's no distract me from why I'm my Siri's talking to me. I can't let one person's no distract me from the real reason why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I deserve to continue to get what's on my vision board, right? So the main thing is to not give up, not quit. And a lot of this mindset is what's going to help you to not quit and not give up when you have those no's. We were just in this multi-vendor group, and you know, some of the girls were like, I didn't have any sales. You know what? Sometimes it takes a long time to make a sale. Don't give up. Sometimes these sales or these groups that you're in, you know what? It's not because you're in the wrong place. It's not because you're not doing the right thing. It's just because it wasn't time, right? So sometimes you have to just keep showing up for people to, and you have to keep your eyes open too. You guys, I want to talk about this real quick, because I know we just have a few minutes left, but another thing that you have to do is go in with your eyes wide open and understand that maybe you were there to meet your next business partner. Maybe you have your next person that is going to join your team because they liked your vibe, right? Or maybe you're subconsciously looking for another home because maybe another person vibed with you better. Because here's the thing, I was with another company. I've been with multiple companies, and I'm not proud of that. Like sometimes I go, man, that's one of my limiting decisions that makes me feel like people aren't going to trust me, because, oh, there's Terry just jumping in from one company to another. She doesn't even know what she wants, right? No, I had to find my home. I didn't really know what I was doing. All the times that I signed up to be this distributor or that distributor, most of the time it was because I'm not going to lie. I was one of those, you know, people that wanted the discount. You know, I was looking for the what do you call them? The people that steal you get the big discount and then you don't do anything with your business, but you get the people all excited about you joining them, then you do nothing with it. That was me. I did that to so many people. How can I get mad at somebody else for doing that to me? A kidnapper, exactly. So how do I get mad at people for doing that to me? I can't. When somebody messages me a cold message and it's spammy, I can't get mad at that person. I have to say, you know what? God bless them for trying. You know, they got a why. Their why was strong enough to push them past the fear of just cold messaging some crazy random person that they don't even know. You know, God bless them for that. So don't give up. And like Yvonne said, sometimes when you think your post is going to be spammy, you know, for whatever reason, it's driving you. Something back here, something back here is telling you to post it. Sometimes it's for the right reasons. Keep your eyes wide open. My last company that I was with, I was the center of attention in in my own little community, I had 200 people under me. I thought I was vibing. I was doing good. I was building my tribe. People were following me left and right. You know what I was doing? I was attracting people that were like, I can't do what you do. I'm going to follow you, but I need you to help me. I don't mind helping you, but I was hand feeding these people and it was draining me. I wasn't attracting other leaders. I was attracting people that they weren't going to do the do. They wanted me to do the do for them. And I was doing it because I'm a mama and that's what we do, right? So I thought I was where I needed to be. I thought I was doing the right thing. And to be honest with you, I wasn't, because God gave me the opportunity to join this other business. Y'all, I'm in health and wellness. I'm the last person that you would think should be in health and wellness. I don't even freaking eat right half the time. Thank God we have this new little pill that takes away carbs and sugars and stuff, because I'm like, oh, I can sell that because that's my best friend right there. You know, I feel amazing. I love my products. I love my company. I love my sidelines. I love my team. I love everybody. I have done so much better financially with this company because I was open to saying yes. And I didn't even say yes for the right reasons. You know why I said yes, y'all? I said yes because my business coach at the time said, I will give you my coaching if you join my team. You won't have to pay for my workshops and my webinars and my whatever. And I went, really? Because I'm paying a lot of money. Okay, let me think about this. If I stay active at $100 a month, I get you for free, I'm in. And I joined. And I thought I could balance both companies. It didn't work because once I joined and I realized that there was something there, it was something I needed, it was so much easier for me to share. You got to be super passionate about what you're doing. You know, if you're not passionate about your product, you can forget it. You're not ever going to sell it. You've got to be passionate about it. You got to be passionate about helping people. And sometimes it takes you being passionate about helping yourself before you can help other people. That's why I'm so firm about filling your cup, y'all. You've got to fill your cup every single day. Do not take a day off. You know, what is John? I can't believe I got all these books over here. One of the he's a speaker, a motivational speaker that I've seen him at multiple events that I've been to with different companies, mind you. He talks about, he doesn't even take, no, it's not him. He used to be a pastor, John something, I forget. Anyways, he talks about, he doesn't even take off Christmas Day. He does 5 things to work towards his business every single day. And he doesn't take it off. He doesn't take off his birthday. He doesn't take off Christmas. He doesn't even take off when he's sick. But he time blocks it, and he's made that commitment because his why is so strong. So yes, John Maxwell, thank you. He talks about the 5 things that he does. And his 5 things are going to be different than our 5 things because he has a different, a different business that he's in. But, he writes books and he does more motivational stuff, right? So my 5 things is I'm going to reach out to somebody every single day and see if they're open to hearing what I have to say or what I'm doing, right? Whether it's product driven or business driven, I'm going to reach out. And then I'm going to make sure I follow up with people. That's something that I'm still working on. I've got to make sure I do that because Terry's got to get a little more organized with that, right? I'm going to make sure I'm posting on my social media so that I'm staying out there and people are seeing what I'm doing. So you got to make sure you're doing that. And you got to make sure that you're connecting with leader and that you are, there's 5 things. There's reach outs, follow-ups. Come on, Yvonne, help me here. Social media posting. And then you're going to add 2 people to your list. Make sure you add at least 2 new connections to your list every single day. So if that means going out and finding new friends, you need to find new friends, because I'm going to tell you right now, your friends and your family are not going to be the ones that lead you to the top rank of the company. Most of them are going to tell you no. My parents are my biggest supporters when it comes to product. If they see me doing a Facebook Live, they roll their eyes and go, what are you doing? And it causes me to have that limiting decision and I don't blame them. I blame myself for allowing it to affect me that way, So we all are a work in progress. And I hope that you guys found some tools tonight that was helpful for you. I could go on forever about all the books that I've read. You're a Badass, Girl Wash Your Face, Get Over Your Damn Self, like all these amazing books that are out there. There's podcasts. Some of the leaders on our team just came out with a new one called Blessed Mama Bosses. It's amazing. My dog just knocked stuff over, sorry. Anyways, so I love all the affirmations and all the little positive things that are behind you, Yvonne. It's so amazing. And I am a firm believer in filling yourself up. Get that vision board done. I would love to see pictures of your vision boards. When you guys get the email it back to me. I would love to see it. Do your affirmations, do your journaling, figure out where you were and what is holding you back, because there's something that's holding you back. There's something that's making you not accept the no's or feel bad about yourself when things don't go your way. We're all there. We're all in it together, and we're here to support each other and to love on each other. So I appreciate each and every one of you. Yvonne, I'm so grateful for you. I'm like, I can't even believe that it happened for you to join us tonight. You know,
all timing. It's all timing. I can't believe we haven't connected before today.
I know, it's crazy
on this level, but it's all in the perfect timing.
Absolutely. So I appreciate you guys so much, and I hope that you found this helpful. And you know what? The registration will still be open. So if you have team members or if you have other people that you feel this would benefit them, please feel free to share it or share the link when I send it out to you. I have no problem with that at all. Because I'm all about motivating, and I'm about uplifting our industry and making us all successful and helping us all to have, you know, make this world a better place. We all need some more smiles and some more enjoyment right now, you know? So I hope you have a blessed night. Thank you guys. Bye.